saying that, a team that hasn't flicked the switch, that normally flicks all the right switches at a Rugby World Cup.
Who could you be talking about?
My All Blacks lost their first ever
could you
pool
be-
game. I don't know how this normally feels. We don't lose pool games, and we lost a pool game.
Ah, my sweet summer child.
Oh, that was a tough watch. Imagine
Yeah.
just going out.
I got up for that game to watch it. I got up out of loyalty to my co-host. I said, "Damn it, I will get up for the first game of and also it's the Rugby World Cup. It's a kickoff for the Rugby World Cup. Damn it, I will get up for this game to watch his prediction play out, to see some arrogant French players humbled, but it was not to be. It was not to be."
Yeah, I went out on a big night Friday. I was having some drinks with some friends, which we'll talk about later. And I got home at about 2:30 a.m.
Yeah.
So good old, had the mattress out in the living room so I didn't wake the missus up. Still managed to wake her up, of course. And slept for 3 hours, just under 3 hours. I was up and about, ready to go, watching the All Blacks, watching Captain Ardie Savea lead us into battle. Now, first half and first 5 minutes of the second half, I sat there pretty happy with life. I think I was most happy that I sat there and I was like, we can beat the French. Like, even if it didn't pan out and we had lost, I was nervous that we weren't going to be able to beat the French. The last time we played France, in France, we lost 40-25, hadn't had a good result there. I was like, you know what, we can beat the French. And then it just started to go downhill. And I couldn't put my finger on it. But for a team that prides itself on second half slaughters and what the All Blacks do, I just sat there and I went, we fell apart. Obviously, the Will Jordan yellow card deserved a yellow card. Hard to watch because it does suck, but it deserved a yellow card. We both have shared this. We're not fans of Jaco Piper as a ref. The penalty count was 12-4, but I don't mind 16 penalties in a game. I don't think you can complain too much about. No. I think we were also ill-disciplined at times and deserved the penalty count. I don't think he refs a good game, but I definitely don't think he's to blame for the All Blacks loss because he
doesn't make it an easy watch, I guess.
No,
like there's certain
what I would agree to as well.
I guess for me it's a little bit confusing at times when he chooses to blow the whistle, but equally sometimes when he chooses not to
blow. Yeah,
like there are situations where both France and New Zealand in that game, I could have easily seen. I watched the game with my dad. What my dad said was, if that team had been wearing a gold jersey, that would have been a penalty. We're just used to seeing Wallabies get penalties in this situation. And then there's other times where there was one particular penalty where someone on your team had the ball, someone on the French team got under him straight away within a second, and without even waiting for any potential shift on the ground for the ball to be able to be sort of put back for New Zealand to play it, he blew the whistle and said, not releasing. For me, I'm like, that's awfully quick. But then other times he was letting it go for a lot longer. And so I think that's the main thing, is the inconsistency, which is sort of maddening.
Yeah. And again, like, it's definitely not a blame on Piper. We lost that game because of our own ill-disciplined, which I think we didn't react to.
Which is surprising to me, to be honest, to see that.
This is back-to-back weeks now, which is nervous. And especially when you're facing a guy like Thomas Ramos, who just doesn't fucking miss. Like, I know he missed 2 kicks, but he lined them up and you're just like, fuck, here we go again. Like, there's a game is going to come down to that, and we have to be better. Like, we cannot afford to do that against any of the top 4, top 5, top 6 teams.
Yeah.
Other than probably you, if you're not starting Ben Donaldson, we can't afford to do that. So I just sat there and I was just, I was a little bit dumbfounded about the second half. It's just not very All Black-like. I'm still confident we can win the Rugby World Cup. And I think we've made some correct decisions, bringing in Ethan Blackadder for Imoni Nadawai. Because I think Tupavai was just a little bit out of place at number 6, which is not a natural position for him, especially at test level. I also sat there and I went, along with the penalties, we fucking dropped so much pill, which is not normal for an All Blacks team. And especially in that second half, it just built on us. Like, we won the possession battle, but we by far lost the territorial battle. And yeah, I don't really know what to say. Like, I think we can still do it. Like, I sat there and I was like, after 55 minutes, we can beat that French team. Okay, if we can beat the French team, I know we can beat the South Africans. The Irish team's like the last one. And I would rather lose that game than lose a quarterfinal. But I'm lost for words a little bit, which doesn't happen to us All Blacks fans all too often.
I'll say as well, there was some off kicking from Richie Mo'unga as well, which you're not used to seeing. And there are other times when he just looked his usual brilliant self as well. So I guess inconsistency across the board for the All Blacks was probably something that cost you a little bit.
Yeah, I guess when I look back to a really good performance of ours, and that was that South Africa win at Mount Smart in the Rugby Championship, where they sent over a team early for it pretty much. And I go, all of our general play kicking was so on point in that game. We had the perfect kicks. Will Jordan was contesting everything in the air. And it's just like we haven't had a good kicking game since that. Like, I think we played, I know we played you in Melbourne, but Carter Gordon had an off night rather than us having a great night with kicking. Then we had you in Dunedin, where I think we struggled, and that's what let you into the game. And then Twickenham, where we never even got into a position to have attacking kicks or win the kicking duel. So I just go, that game, especially in the second half, reminded me lots of the semi-final against England in 2019, where we're waiting for some brilliance to come over and take over the game and win us the game. And if it's not there, what the fuck do we do? So scary times ahead. But I still think we can do it. And I still back the boys to go all the way, as I should.